There's a special kind of exhaustion that comes from pretending, a weight you carry not on your back but in your spirit. I lived with that weight for years, disguised behind a smile that had learned how to show up even when my heart didn't. Smiling became a habit, an armor, a way to make others comfortable even when I wasn't. It's easier to be okay than to be a burden. I smiled at work, in meetings, at social gatherings, during phone calls, even when I felt like screaming inside. I had perfected the art of appearing composed, approachable, and agreeable. And yet, behind that silence was a storm. I smiled so much I forgot how to be real. There were days I wanted someone, anyone, to notice, to ask, "Are you truly okay?" Not the polite version. When they did, I still smiled. "I'm good, just tired." Just tired became a code for I'm unraveling, but I can't show you that. Truth is risky. Truth means vulnerability. Admitting I wasn't as strong as people thought. I wasn't raised to talk about mental health. We were taught to pray, push through, and keep going. To be thankful and not question, but to work hard and stay strong. Silence doesn't make the pain disappear. It buries it and pushes it deeper. A missed call, a delayed text, a harsh word, small things that send me spiraling. I was emotionally full, but not in a good way. Full of unspoken words, unfelt grief, unmet needs. Smiling became a way of survival, but also a barrier to intimacy. You feel lonely even when surrounded by people, because the version of you they're with isn't real. I began to fear being known. Not because I was hiding shame, but because I wasn't sure who I was beneath the performance. The silence became a second skin. What you refuse to express doesn't varnish. It metastasizes. It leaks out in irritability, procrastination, chronic fatigue, and perfectionism. And the longer you carry the unspoken pain, the heavier it becomes. One night alone in the room, I stood in front of the mirror. I looked into my own eyes, really looked, not to check my appearance, but to search for the person underneath the layers. What I saw startled me. I looked tired, not just from a long day. It was deeper weariness, like someone who'd been holding their breath for too long. And then, unexpectedly, I whispered aloud, "I miss you. Maybe the younger me, maybe my soul." Tears came next. Slow, quiet tears. I wasn't sobbing, just releasing. With every tear, something uncoiled inside me. For the first time in a long time, I didn't need to smile. That night didn't change everything, but it cracked the silence. I began to notice how often I silenced myself. At first it was small. Instead of saying yes out of guilt, I'd say, "Let me think about it. Let me think about it." Instead of giving advice I didn't believe, I'd stay quiet. When someone asked how I was, I'd pause before answering. Not to lie, but to answer more honestly, even if it was just, "Today's been tough." That small shift was radical. People didn't run from my honesty. They leaned in. Some even shared their stories. Truth is what connects us, not perfection. The more I stopped smiling to cover the pain, the more real my relationships became. Some drifted away, those who preferred the masked version of me. But the ones who remained saw me, and I saw them. I used to think silence was strength. Now I know that silence can be fear. Strength is saying what's true even when your voice shakes. So here is what I want you to know. You don't have to pretend. You're allowed to be both grateful and struggling. You don't need a breakdown to justify your pain. You deserve to be seen, not just for what you do, but for who you are. The world may not always ask the right questions, but your story matters. Speak, even if your voice is quiet. Tell the truth, even if you are scared. Somewhere out there, someone is waiting, not for your perfection, but for your authenticity. Maybe that someone is you. You don't have to keep carrying it alone. Chapter 2, Smiling Through Silence, is from Shadows into Light by Wilfred Kiarie, now available on Amazon. Find it on Amazon. Link in the description. Read more and let these stories meet you where you are. Honesty, even in tiny doses, is liberating. It breaks the illusion. It chips away at the cage. You deserve to be seen. Speak. Tell the truth. Start small. From Shadows into Light, Wilfred Kiarie. Available now on Amazon. Thank you for listening.